should be live. As usual, if you see any technical issues, please let me know. I'm just checking on all the devices if it works.
Tripod.
All right, I think we're good. I'm just double checking here the sound if it's all good. Should be working. Okay, cool. All right. Now I just have to double check if we see the stream here. If you're in here, just say hello so I know that the chat and everything works. Da, da, da. It's the chat. Yeah, those live streams always make me nervous. I don't know if it works, when it works. So yeah, just bear with me here. Anyways, in today's live stream, we're gonna work on some visual effects I actually have to do for a client, so don't tell him I'm live streaming that. Oh yeah. All right. Matt is deep inside. We have people in here. Sweet. Okay, Matt, just let me know if there's any difficulties here so I know if something is going wrong. So, for today's live stream, because it's somewhat of a boring job and I didn't want to sit here by myself, I figured I'm going to take you with me on this beautiful journey in making this effect happen. Again, it's not a very interesting effect, but it needs to get done. And maybe you're gonna learn something along the way. How about that? So, I'm gonna switch to my screen now because you've seen my beautiful face for long enough. So what we're gonna do here is, this is my shot here. This is something we shot around 2 weeks ago. I was camera operating, Aramis was camera operating, and now what we need to do is, some idiot forgot this tripod, this light stand here in the background, and my job now is to remove this. They told me it's okay to leave the light, which is cool. Probably gonna put a flare on it or something, but I do need to remove those sticks here. And there's many ways how to do that, but the problem is it's covered by him a little. It's covered by those cables here because I was shooting underneath a semi-truck. So I was basically shooting blindly. I was just holding my camera basically like this, and I was trying to run because it was a moving shot and I didn't even see my screen. So that's how I shot it, and that's why I missed this tripod there in the background. So yeah, that was it. Now I have to work it out in post. But the good thing is I'm a fix it in post kind of guy anyway, so let's fix this. The first thing I think I need to do is just rotoscope everything what is in the foreground separated from the background. And I'm probably gonna do him separately and those cables separately too. I'm gonna start with those cables. So I'm gonna duplicate my footage here, go to wherever it's in the middle, let's say here. And now in the duplicated footage, I'm gonna try to draw a mask around my cables here. And we'll see how good of a result we're gonna get here. We're gonna need 2 masks for those cables because they're separating here a little. Oh boy, it's gonna be quite the challenge here. But it is a very short shot, so maybe we can get away with a little, you know, camera shake, you know, cheat it a little. Anyway, so now I need to animate this mask, and the first thing I'm gonna try is not that it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it anyways to track it inside of After Effects and hope for the best and see if that helps me at all, and doesn't look like it. It helped here, it worked here in the beginning a little. If I track it backwards, nah, this is not gonna work. We have to track it manually. So what I'm gonna do is, I already made a keyframe here, and now I need to go through it basically frame by frame and animate this beautiful mask. And really only here it has to be precise. I don't need the whole cable, I just need it wherever those sticks are. That's where I need it to be very exact. Other than that, it doesn't really matter. Well, let's just see how good of a job we can do here. Da. The cool thing is, every time I change something in the timeline, it already automatically creates a new keyframe, so that's good. So I don't have to really go frame by frame, I just go a few frames ahead, grab this entire thing, and it made me a keyframe. And now I just have to adjust a few single points to make it better. And again, it really matters where my tripod is. All of this doesn't really matter. Yep, and that's basically a big chunk of a VFX artist's work. That's the kind of stuff we have to do. A lot actually, like removing lights from the background or something like a boom mic, stuff like that. That's a big part of the job. That's why it's always nice when people actually pay attention on sets to actually not have those things in your shot. But it happens more often than you think that you do have to remove those things. So yeah, now we have to sit through this and try to remove it. Oh, we have a little focus shift here, which we have to remember later. Okay. And this cable here is actually the easy part. Like later on we have to rotoscope the actor here, which was Alex, a good friend of mine, Anabolic Alex, because he's so shredded. We have to rotoscope him frame by frames, and that's obviously a little more complex because he's a human and lots of moving parts. This here is just a static cable, so we'll see how that's gonna go. But that's why I'm doing this in a live stream, so I don't have to sit through this alone. Although it is a kind of a little lonely here. I think Matt is watching still, but he has his own stuff he's working on, so I don't blame him to not interacting with me here. But It is also a little early. My German people are probably still asleep, but I didn't want to really wait for till later until I start doing this because I need to get this done, preferably today. The thing is, when we have to rotoscope him, we're gonna worry about that later, but it's basically just here. And then he's out of it already. So it's basically just 10 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, like 10 frames, and that shouldn't be a big deal. So it's mostly the cable which is in it most of the time. So here, in case you absolutely have no idea what I'm doing here. So I'm trying to have this cable here, which is in the foreground, to select it that I can put an effect behind it, because what I'm going to do is clean all this up. So I'm going to probably take a piece from here, which is very even, and just put it on top of it. But the way it would look then is like if I did that real quick. I take this piece, put it on top of it. That's what it would look like. Obviously it's not great. I need this cable in front of it, which I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna need to cut out the truck here, put it also on top of it because it was in front, and then of course also the legs of my actor here. So that's why I'm doing all of this, so in the end the effect is gonna work. Let's delete this for now because we're gonna worry about the plate later. Let's worry about the cable for now. So I think we're done with the cable. Actually, I'm gonna bring it back so I actually see. Yeah, I think the cable should be done. It was faster than I thought it would be. Okay, now let's worry about this guy here. So I'm going to duplicate my lower layer again. Probably going to leave it where it is. Now I have to rotoscope him. And I'm probably going to use the rotor brush tool for that. So I'm going to cut it into pieces where I know I only need it for, so this video is not too long, which is, let's say here. Cut it also. Now for those frames I need to rotoscope him, and mainly like this area. So I'm going to double click this bad boy. Now I can use the rotor brush tool to draw a little. Again, I don't have to be that exact around here. It's mostly like this area which has to be perfect. And Matt says it's none of my business. Like, what is my business though? That's a real question. So once it's rotoscoped, and I think I did a good job, I have to go through it frame by frame. Usually what I like to do is just hit play and hope for the best, but that was a mistake. So I'm gonna go through it frame by frame and clean it up the way it needs to be cleaned up. So I'm just looking at those edges here where he touches the light stand here in the back. This here has to be perfect, so I'm just going through it. This looks fine. And the interesting part is, if we don't do a good job, or it's not perfect in the end, we can I'm always gonna fake it with a little dust and stuff like that, which also is gonna make the shot better, but mainly I'm just trying to cover up the shitty job I've done. Okay, perfect. So that was also faster than I thought. Now we're looking at it. I mean, obviously we're not going to see anything, but yeah, so I have 2 layers now. I have my cable here. Need to adjust it here. The cable here and him separately. So the last one we need to do is the truck, but that should be fairly easy. So I'm going to duplicate my lower layer one more time. Hopefully it's going to be the last time. And I'm going to bring it on top of, should be on top. No, it should be on the bottom actually. Yeah, it's going to be cable, then him, and then the truck. So the problem with that is that one has to start earlier. So right here, I should actually call those things, rename those things. So this one is going to be truck mask. This one is going to be Alex mask. And this one here is going to be cable mask. Let's work on this truck. And we're going to go, let's start here. I'm going to draw a mask. What I need to cut out, which is from here to here. That should be enough. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did with the cable. I'm going to animate this. And I'm also going to try to track the mask before, because maybe it did not look too bad. It did a very good job until here, and then it lost it. So let's delete this. Yeah, sometimes you're lucky and the mask actually does a good job, the tracking mask thing. But sometimes you're not. Let's try to track it forward. And it looks good. Yes. Cool. So really the painful part should be done now. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm gonna feather the edges a little, but more about that later, because we're gonna see how much we have to feather those edges in the best case when your retouching is done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this frame where I see most of the background, which is, let's say, here, and also not that much motion blur. So I'm gonna duplicate my background one more time, but this time I just need, let's say, usually more is always better, but let's go here, 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 here. Now I'm gonna freeze it because I don't want this clip to actually move, so I'm gonna freeze frame, move this on top of this. I'm not worried about the cables and stuff too much. I'm gonna scale it up a little. Let's move this to the center. Like here, I try to cover up my the sticks. Okay, that should be enough. And I'm not worried about those cables here, because if that was on top now, and this, oh nope, where is it? This thing. If that was on top now, you could see it's like overlapping my cables, or if it's a little higher it's overlapping my track, or if it's here it's overlapping my actor. But it doesn't really matter because we cut all this out. So I'm going to do this here. Mask looks good. Now I'm just worried about those edges here, so let's try to feather them. Where is it? Let's rename this guy too. Where is it? Rename, retouch. Let's feather the mask. Not too much though, just so we don't see this edge anymore. Retouch, feather a little more. Now we can see the light stand is peeking out in the background again, so I'm going to bring this a little higher. Again, I'm not worried about this edge or any of those edges, because that's why we'll mask all those objects out before. I'm just trying to have it sit in the background so we don't really see that something is wrong here. Now if we bring this to the almost far bottom, we can see, that doesn't look too bad, does it? But the job is unfortunately not done yet, because let's remember 114. If I play this now, you can see it's like in the middle of my frame and eventually just disappears, and then it just comes back where it was supposed to be. So we need to track this thing now. We need to track the movement of my light stand. And that's also one of the more difficult parts with a moving shot like this. If your camera is not moving, our job here would be done, but the camera is moving. So I need to track the movement of my camera. That's why I click on track motion. And usually that's a very, it's not that painful, but since our object here is like blocked sometimes, actually, let me try to actually track, because I need a high contrast point, and this thing here is basically in the frame all the time. So let's say this here. It might work. Let's try it. Let's make the search area a little bigger. So the smaller the search area, the faster. Oops. So it worked in the beginning. You can see it's tracking. I'm trying to track the movement. Eventually it jumps because it couldn't find this spot here anymore, so I just have to manually find it. Yeah, the live stream is a little empty here. I'll remember that for next time, so I'll stream a little later. Last time I streamed it was like late. I think it was like midnight already in LA. So next time I'll remember that. Anyways, so we're tracking the movement of my camera right now. And I think the camera is not moving that much right now, so I can make the search area a little smaller. Yep, that looks good. I'm gonna go to the part, to the frame where I started tracking, which is here. I'm gonna track backwards. That does not work, but also because our tracking marker is being blocked by his arm, so we have to do a little fine adjustment here. No, it's actually not blocked, it's just very fast movement. So I'm just gonna go through it frame by frame. I hope we can even use this tracker. It might be too far away from our actual object. And then it's swimming. So in case it's gonna be swimming, I can show you what swimming means. It might be alright since it's this object is so far in the background and it doesn't really grab our attention, but we'll see. Nope, that did not work. But yeah, again, VFX, it always looks so cool when you do VFX, upload your films and videos, what you do, but a big part of VFX is just that. and which is not that much fun, is it? But it's important. It's an important part of filmmaking to be able to fix those little mistakes people made on set. And by people, I mean myself in that case. Although that shot could have been also Aramis's shot, I'm not sure. He was standing right next to me, but I think that was actually my shot. But again, nobody's fault, because the director was seeing what I couldn't see, and he could have let me know, and he didn't. So let's blame the director. How about that? Let's not take any responsibility for errors. It's not my fault, it's the director's fault. I'm kidding. Okay, that was the shot. Now, to actually save this information what we just captured, I'm going to make a null object, edit target, the null object we just made, apply x and y with the information. So now it's moving this red thing. So my null object, it's moving. Let me turn off Alex's mask because it's going to be faster. It's moving like the camera's moving. But not really like the camera, more like this spot here. And I hope this spot and the actual legs are close enough that the movement is going to be the same. So I'm going to go to the frame where I started tracking, which is 14. This is where I cleaned out the background. Now, where is it? Retouch. I have to track this to my null object, and now it should be moving the way the mask is moving, the way the shot is moving. And that doesn't look too bad. It's behind those cables, as you can see. If it wasn't, that's what it would look like. That's why we cut out the mask beforehand. Right now we can see it's looking, we can see through Alex because I turned off his mask, but when I turn it back on, there it is. Okay, I need to see it in the flow. Let me save this bad boy real quick. Okay, it's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. We still can see a little bit of stuff here. Now I have to figure out which mask is it. It's probably the... Okay, it's the truck. So I'm gonna go in the mask settings of my truck. Hey, Udit Gala, how's it going? We're doing, we're making visual effects for a film I shot a few weeks ago. The edit is done. Now I have to do some retouching on the visual effects, with visual effects. But how are you doing? By the way, we are in After Effects for this. We're not doing any Blender effects today, it's just After Effects, because I just have to do some simple retouching. Doesn't look too bad. If I deliver it like this, it's not perfect, but it'd be good enough. In case you want to see what it looked like before, that's the shot. We have this little light stand in the background, and my job is to remove it. Which I just did, more or less. We're not done yet. Yuta Gala, I'm doing good, just have my exam in 2 hours. Saw your notification, so came here to check. Well, good luck with your exam. What kind of exam is it? Is it like a class test or like a checkup from a doctor? What kind of exam is it? Especially in the last frames here. There's some weirdness going on. Let me check all the masks. This one, okay. This one doesn't matter. Let's see this one. Okay, cable should have been here. It's so hard to see through all this, but I think this is better now. Okay, this is where the problems start. He says, Judith says, I'm in a 2-year of bachelor's in mass media, so my final exams are going right now. Oh, your final exams. So you probably shouldn't be in my live stream right now. You should be preparing. So, well, as much as you can prepare 2 hours before, but I hope you're prepared. Did you study and all that? It's been so long since I was in school preparing for exams. I don't miss it at all. Okay, I fixed this mask here a little so it looks a little better. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Let's see what else we can fix here. This we don't need to fix. Okay, that one. When I look close here, the mask is not perfectly aligned with the background. So if I move this, it would be better. The problem is, this is animated. So I would need to move this. Oopsie. Move this mask for every single frame, and I don't want to do that. So I want to see if I turn up the mask expander, or turn it down rather, there, that should fix it for the entire thing. Mask it, feather it like this. Okay. I have planned that after my exams are over, I'm gonna start working on VFX compositing with the help of your videos. Oh man, this is sick. VFX is a beautiful thing, and I wish you all the best, that you can make a lot of money with it, because it's a fun way to make money. But you need to have a lot of patience. That's also why a lot of people, they don't know how to do that, because they don't have the patience. Okay, I'm happier than I was before. Okay, this is good. I see some weirdness going on here. Let me fix this mask. Yeah, at some point when you're looking at it for so long, you're just starting to see things, you know, like, oh, this is wrong. Gotta clean up this part. Okay, this is better. But the thing is, how much are you actually gonna see when it's like moving, you know? Oh yeah, this looks pretty good. It's not perfect yet. Excuse me, but that looks pretty good. What is it? I have planned, I saw that. I just don't have proper lights. Can you share me any green screen clips of yours so I can practice on that? Cause if you go and record it, then I will look really bad because of the lack of proper lighting setup in my home. I did share some of my green screen clips. Mostly, I'm sharing all my assets with my Patreons and YouTube members, so I can't give everything to you. But yes, I can share some of my green screen clips or record some for you. That would be actually a good way to give it to all my subscribers. But yes, you just have to look through my green screen videos, because sometimes I gave away all the footage, especially in the last one where I made this cave scene. this cave with the monster where she was like showing the finger. I definitely uploaded all of that online, so you can definitely use that. It's at least one. When it comes to proper lighting setup at home, like my best advice, I should probably make a video on that, but my best advice on this is just use natural light. Have your green screen right in front of the window, and then shoot that way. Then of course your CG scenes also have to be like evenly lit. Yeah, because what you don't want to do is unmatch your lighting and all that. It always has to match. That's important. So if you, whatever you're using, like let's say I have a green screen behind me and I only have one light source, then as long as you can light your green screen properly, then just work with what you have, you know. If you already have a green screen, that's already awesome. But also, you know, green screen is not everything. And I don't know how Status King says, please upload this video before live. Oh, this video, I can't really share this because it's I'm working for a client right now, so I'm not allowed to share this with anybody because this is secret information here. But that's a very good point. Next time I work on something, I make sure to share the footage with everybody, so everybody who wants to join can do that too. But this video is not really, you know, like a tutorial live stream. It's more like I just didn't want to do this by myself. I just wanted to go live and can hang out with you guys, because this is very, very boring work what I'm doing here. For everybody who just tuned in, this is the shot I got. It's a guy falling on his face. And my job here is to remove the sticks from the background. Because we have a light in the background. Nobody caught it on camera. This is for a film. The film is completely finished, edited and everything. But this one thing stood out, this one shot, and now my job is to remove the sticks from the background, which I did. And in case you wondered how I made this thing, let's go through the masks, through the layers of everything I did here. So I started with my original video, okay? Then, let's say I had the retouch. Okay, I remove the sticks from the background. Obviously we have like all those feet and the cables and all of that in the foreground, so I had to remove those. So I started with the truck here. There we go. Now the truck is in front of my retouch. After that, I had to mask the actor frame by frame. And after this, I had to remove the cables in front of that. So now the main job is done here. Now I can just try to figure out, okay, how can I make it look better? And one good fix is, since my retouch here, this layer is moving from left to right, it's shaking and all that. I can see this is wrong here. It shouldn't be like this. You see this? So my retouch has to start a little later. Let's say, let's make this the first frame where we see it. Let's go one frame here. Oh, we can see the sticks here too. I gotta go, bro. I will be back and see your uploaded video. Have a nice day. Good luck with your exam. And I'm uploading a video in 10 hours about a new tutorial. Go check it out. But good luck with your exam. Have a good one. Anyways, where was I? I have to have it for one frame more, maybe two. No, one is enough. Okay, that's good. Now, since this is perfectly sharp, but the background is moving because of the motion blur, you can see here it looks fine. Right here, the my retouch layer should have motion blur. So I'm gonna turn on motion blur, and now it's gonna look way better. See, with, without, with, without. Let me zoom closer here so you can see the difference. This is with motion blur, this is without motion blur, and we want it with motion blur. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's just a little bit of the shakiness here on this cable. I need to fix that. So let me go to my cable mask and do a little bit better of a job. So I'm gonna go here, clean this up a little better. Yeah, this is, you have to be very exact with these things. The thing is, my retouch layers might be also too big, right? Let me go to here. It is a little too big, so I'm just gonna make it a little. It's so much feather, so it has to be that big. Let's see. Can I feather it less? Can you see it now? Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, this is complicated stuff. Not complicated, but I wonder, is that like a product placement if I have this truck here, freeway focusing? It seems like product placement to me, right? Just need to ask my clients something real quick. Yeah. If you have suggestions how to make this better, please let me know, because you might have some tricks up your sleeve I don't. So that'd be pretty cool if you can teach me something here. Oh yeah. Well, I think that's I see this. Where is this? What is this? Okay. Oh, okay, I see. I have this other cable. I need to rotoscope too. Okay, let me work on that real quick. So for everybody who missed this beautiful workflow, let me get this right underneath my cable. I'm gonna call it cable 2 mask. So I'm gonna remove this cable now. Not remove it, but mask it. Yeah, on the sides here we don't have to be that exact. It's mostly here. It's a very thin cable, so we'll see how much of that we're gonna need. I hope that makes sense what I'm doing here, like from the audience perspective, because to me, like that's the thing, when you make those tutorials, you try to explain everything, but then some things are so clear to yourself because you've just did it a billion times but the audience might not have any idea what you're doing here. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Because it's a good thing about like a live stream, you can take your time to explain things and answer questions and all that. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. The VFX artist work, am I right? This is good stuff. The question is always like, you pay so much attention to like those details, how much of that are you actually gonna see is the question. How much of this do I have to animate actually? Okay, let's just watch the whole thing so I kinda have an idea. Okay, it looks like shit. Okay, I need those to be longer. Try to avoid that, but longer. One more time. That's a problem. If you make too many keyframes, you have to adjust all of them individually. Someone asked earlier if you can do that kind of stuff in Blender too, or in Blender as well. And yes, you can. I would not recommend it because it's purely two-dimensional work, compositing work, and I would not recommend doing that in Blender. It's like, you can use the Blender compositor for that. I would recommend use After Effects for that kind of retouching work. Use Nuke. I think DaVinci is also pretty good with stuff like that. So that's the kind of software I would use for that. But I wouldn't use, 3D software for that. I do it in After Effects because I've been using After Effects my entire life, basically. Not my entire life, but since I was like 19, 20. So it's been a long time. It's been a minute. Oh, I'm losing it here. Let's save. Yeah. So After Effects is, for me personally, the way to go. It's not free, of course. Blender is free. DaVinci is free. So, but I would not be able to do that in DaVinci. I have worked with DaVinci, but not intense enough that I would be able to make this. And especially when it's like for paying clients, I have to make sure to be fast and efficient, because people, clients, they pay you by the hour. And you don't want them to pay you for the time you spent on learning a new software. Okay. I hope that'll do. Let's look at it. Looks good. What do you think? And that's the thing, we're looking like so closely in this area, trying to look for mistakes. Normally people, of course, are not going to do that. So one more thing I see is, because the focus is shifting to the front a little, or no, it's shifting to the, hold on, where is the focus going? The background is out of focus. Oh yeah, the focus is shifting towards us, like closer we're losing focus here. So what I need to do is, on my layers here, like on this and this, I'm gonna need to put a lens blur on it. Or do I though? Oh no, I need to put the blur on the background. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, this is my retouching background here, and whenever the focus starts shifting, I'm looking at his butt here and his feet. Whenever the focus shifts to the front, which starts here, I believe, I'm gonna use an effect on my retouch layer. Blur and sharpen. Let's use camera lens blur. I start on 0, animated, and now it has to be more blurred, so I blur it until I'm happy. This is too much. Let's do 10. Let's do 15. So I'm just looking at the surrounding here, that it kind of looks the same. I'm going to put an ease on the blur, that it starts slow. Right click. Right click. Where is this thing? Oh. Keyframe assistant, easy ease. There we go. So now slowly the focus goes away. Just a little detail, but better to do it than, you know, not to do it and then it's missing. Still see imperfections here. That's probably one of my masks here. It's could be this one or could be this one. It's this one. It's too many layers here. Okay, close everything. Okay, I need just that. You. Okay, so I need to clean this up a little. Yeah, that's the annoying part of being a VFX artist, when you have to do stuff like that. But I don't want to complain. I make my living with art, and that's a beautiful thing. But you know, I'm a human, and humans, they like to complain. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, this looks good, but I think I'm gonna color grade this part a little. This is my retouch. Just a little bit. Let me remove the. So kind of, I try to adjust those two colors because this is a little darker than in here. Oh no, it's darker than this part. That's why it's giving it away. So I'm gonna use an effect. Let's start with color correction. Let's start with curves. And make it a little brighter. It's too bright. Before, after. Looks better, right? Been looking at it for too long. Let's watch it in the movement. Okay, this actually does look better because we do have the light here. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I would say we're done with this part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna render out a version just like that, send it to the client, but then I'm gonna make two other options on top of that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some dust here when he falls, because that's gonna cover it up a little. And then I'm also gonna put a lens flare on this lens here. you know what? I'm gonna keep it simple, and I'm gonna make one extra version. I'm gonna have a lens flare here, and dust here, and what is it? And then I'm gonna give him two different options in case this one is not enough. Before I forget, important is where's my Alex? I have to adjust those things a little. I have to use motion blur, increase the feather a little, shift edge to, let's say, minus negative 0.5 or so, reduce shadow, let's say 2%. It's just going to refine the mask a little, but also it's going to make it way slower for those few frames here. So in case you wonder what I'm doing here, just the mask on him, you can see it, where is this mask? That's the mask. So now it's just a little more refined, and I have motion blur on this. That shouldn't look like this, that should be like, good. Alright, I'm gonna turn off his mask, this layer for now, in case you wonder why he's transparent. I turned him off because that slows down After Effects a lot, and since I'm live streaming and my computer is not the newest, it takes a long time for my computer. So next step, we're gonna add some dust here, and I have lots of dust assets from Action Essentials, so I'm gonna use those. Let's see what we have here. Dust elements, dust of cam, no. Dust wave could work. Let's try dust wave, see what it looks like. That could work. It's like dust in both directions. It's backlit, so you just have to start it a little later. Let me see what frame rate this is. It's fine. So it starts here, smoke. Obviously, it's not moving like my camera is moving, but we already track the camera movement, so we can just parent it to the camera, or to the null object we used before. Now we just have to scale it up a little more. It's a little much, but if I just tone it down a little, let's do 30% of that. Smack it. It's not bad. Even can put it behind the cables since I masked it out already. It's behind the cables. It shouldn't be behind the truck. Could be behind Alex. Well, Alex is transparent right now, but let's see what it looks like if it's like behind him. No, let's not do that. It's gonna be definitely on top of Alex. The nice thing is this smoke already looks like him. This smoke looks, the dirt basically looks like our dirt on the ground. So that's a good thing. So that works perfectly. Let's blur it a little. Let's go to I can't see anymore. Effects, blur and sharpen, Gaussian blur. Let's blur it a little. The problem is it goes in both directions, and I kind of want it to go more towards the right, so I'm going to mask it. It only goes into the right direction. Feather the mask, so it's nice and smooth. So this is the impact. This is where it has to start. Smack it. has to be lower than that. And smack it. Oh, that's not bad. What do you think? Smack it. Before we forget, let's put motion blur on that too, since it's moving. Hello to India. What is it? Nikhil? Is that how you say your name? Nikhil? Welcome to my live stream. We are working in After Effects today. You're probably used to my Blender videos, but we're working with After Effects today. We're retouching my shot here. I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but oh shoot, I did something wrong here. Oopsie, I need to fix it in a second. What we're doing here, we're removing those sticks here from the background. Those sticks here, you see? Well, this is a film I was shooting. I shot it like 2 weeks ago, and nobody caught those on camera, so now I have to do that in post. And we're pretty much almost done here. See, already it's pretty much gone. And we're also adding a little smoke here. But I see this effect. Oh no. What do I do? Okay, it's the paint. Okay, that fixed it. Anyways, hello to India. How's the weather over there? Yeah, the thing is, when you look very closely, it's not perfect, but it is pretty good. How just sometimes I see on the last frame something weird is going on, especially with the smoke. We might need to add the smoke just on top of everything, because the cables are not perfectly cut out. Let's just put the smoke on everything. Yeah, it's probably better. Can have the mask a little fade out to the top. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, I didn't even explore more options for the dust wave. Maybe there's a better one. The VLC player. And that one only goes sideways. Let's try this one. Maybe instead, maybe on top of it. But we definitely have to. What is it called? Flip it. Because that one goes mostly to the left, but we need it mostly to go to the right. So let's transform, right click, transform, and flip horizontally. So now it goes mostly to the right. It's pretty bright. I'm here not in vain. I'm about to start working on my project. Welcome to my live stream, Elihu. If that's how you pronounce your name. If I mispronounce your names, then I apologize. What do you mean you're not in vain? What kind of project are you working on is my question. And everybody who's from India, what time is it over there right now? I'm curious. Just want to try when I put it on overlay if it has a better effect, but I don't really like how it manipulates the color. Soft light maybe. That doesn't look too bad. Definitely also go down with the opacity, the smoke. And I also, of course, need to track it to my null object, because that's what it's for. Scale it up a little. Oh, pre-production of a music video. That's cool. That's cool stuff. So what's your job on this music video? Do you do visual effects too, or do you make the whole project? Do you shoot it? What's your job on this music video? You know, of course, all of us wish you best of luck that it's going to be an awesome music video. Actually, someone approached me today to collaborate on a music video, to do like visual effects for him. But you know how collaborations work, you know, they get all the fame and all the credits, and you just do all the work. So I don't collaborate on a music video. I get hired to do that. That's because otherwise you spend like 3, 4, 5 months of full-time work on something, and for free, and you don't get anything out of it. I don't do that. I told him I'm gonna do 1 or 2 VFX shots for his music video. You direct, shoot, and edit, and VFX. So you do the whole production. Okay, that's cool. It's gonna be a lot of work. If you need any advice on how to shoot a music video, I've done my fair share of music videos in my life. What's the concept of your music video? Or of the music video? What kind of VFX are gonna have in it, and what cameras are you using? And tell me a little more about that. I think it's good, right? I'm probably overthinking this here, but I think it looks good. I just still see it here in the background. Nobody's going to pay attention to that, right? Maybe. I don't know. This is tricky stuff here. Andreas from Germany. How's it going? Welcome to my live stream. You're shooting your music video on the A7 III. Oh. On this guy. That's the 7 III, right? Can you see it? There you go. Yeah, it's a great camera. This is when I got this camera, I was so happy because it's just so good. When I got it, I didn't think I ever would need a new camera ever again. It's great. Shoots slow-mo, unfortunately only in full HD, not 4K. The image, it's full frame. It's a great camera. But eventually I upgraded to the 7S III I have right here. I made a YouTube tutorial, so it was like set up here. Yeah, this is the 7S III. This is also makes me very happy. So I'm lucky to have a 3 camera setup now, if I need it. In case you want to see, this is my FX3. This is the big brother of the 7S III. This is this camera is literally everything I ever wanted from a camera. It's so good. I mean, technically, if you just shoot 4K video and you don't need any slow motion, those 2 cameras, the 7 III and the FX3, they're pretty much the same. So it really depends on who's behind the camera and not what the camera is, how good the image is going to be. But yeah, 7 III, awesome camera. Where is your music video gonna be? Can I watch it at some point? Is it gonna be like on YouTube or so? That'd be pretty cool. Oh, I didn't do such a good job in the beginning here. I wonder why. Maybe I just missed it. Anyways, for everybody who just joined my live stream and you have no clue what I'm doing here, I'm retouching this shot from a short film I shot two weeks ago. And the problem with this is that I accidentally, why can you see those stupid legs in the background? Accidentally, I had this light in the background, and my job is now to remove the sticks. Okay. And maybe even remove the light, but probably not. They said those lights basically looked like the actual lights. Those lights were part of the location. Mine looks basically the same. So what I could do is just adjust the color of this light so it looks like the same. But my plan was to just put a lens flare on it and see what happens. So let's do it right now. How about that? So I'm gonna go to a frame where we can see it very closely. It's like right here. So now I'm gonna make a new layer, solid. Solid color is gonna be black. Now you can really see my dirty tricks I'm using for my visual effects. So right click, effect, video copilot, and optical flares. Really, I would be nothing without optical flares. Like, I've been using optical flares for the past 10 years and it's just great. Alright, let's use motion graphics. Shall we use this one? Yeah, let's use this one. That's usually my favorite. Make the lens dirty. Set it to screen. Now we have to track it. It's a bit much. Let's go to 50. Now I have to track it. I could track it with the actual tracker, but I'll just try to track it manually because it's not in the shot for that long. So I'm just going to track it manually and hope for the best. But who knows, maybe it's not going to be any good. And lens flares are just a cheap way to make something look cinematic. And when you look at my films, I do this all the time. I think Michael Bay is the one who really made those lens flares popular in the past decade or so. Like with Transformers and Bad Boys and all that. We have lens flares everywhere. And that just distracts from the rest a little. Yeah, so I'm gonna give my client two different options. Either you're gonna use the one with the lens flare and with the dirt, with the dust flowing up and stuff like that, or just without any of that, just a retouched version, so my client can decide whichever one he wants. So I'm just doing a little bit of extra work and hope. Well, I don't know what I hope for. I always like lens flares and stuff like that, and the dust definitely is a nice touch. But the thing is, if you don't have any lens flares or dust and all that in the next shot, then it feels like it's not connecting. So that's something to be mindful of when you make effects like that. So that's something I need to do, like especially here in the end. I have to fade out all the effects. So in my next shot, which I'm not gonna show because I don't have it here. I don't have any dust here, so I have to fade out my dust effects, which are here, animated, then it goes down to 0. And even my lens flare, I could animate the brightness. It's gonna go down, let's say, to 5. I think it looks pretty cool. The thing is, that kind of lens flares would only show on an anamorphic lens. I didn't shoot on an anamorphic lens, it was just a regular lens. So that technically is not accurate. To really sell the effect, you would need to have like black bars to make it look like, okay, it's widescreen and shot on an anamorphic lens, it's stretched out. But it was technically, the plan was to have those black bars, but I guess in the edit they decided against it. Yeah, the dust is pretty cool, right? Smack it. It's just a little abrupt. I'm going to animate the opacity a little earlier. That's going to start fading out earlier. That's a little more natural. Smack. Maybe I'm not going to fade out the lens flare. Maybe just a little, but where is it? That's my lens flare. Maybe a little higher. There we go. Wow. 30. All right. I'm curious, can I see somewhere how long we have been streaming? Is that information somewhere? No? Okay, one more thing I want to do here. I'm gonna put a little blur effect on my lens flare. Not camera shake, camera lens blur. Yeah, since the light source is in the background, it's gonna look a little better. Okay. Now I'm going to render out those two versions. One with the dust in the lens flare, one without it. And then I'm going to send it to my client. So, Eliu has a question. What do you think of big film VFX? Oh, that's a pretty big question. So, it goes in different things. Let me switch this to the talking part here. So, So big film visual effects. So we're talking about like Marvel movies and blockbuster visual effect. And the thing is, when you see how shitty they are, then obviously you can see it. But the visual effects which are good is the ones you don't see. So when you watch a movie and think, okay, the movie was great, and someone asks you, so what did you think about the visual effects? And you didn't even see any, then they did a good job because it wasn't obvious that they were using green screen in some scenes and stuff like that. So that's the cool part. Like we were just watching Fight Club the other day, and David Fincher, most of his shots or lots of his shots, they are visual effects shots, and you don't even see it. But the real question is when you have like movies like I don't know, sci-fi movies or fantasy. Let's talk about like Marvel movies, the superhero stuff. Then obviously you see okay, lots of visual effects, and I gotta say they're not as good as they used to be. And I think there's multiple reasons for that. I actually made a video on all that once. That people just don't pay attention to detail anymore, or maybe they don't hire that capable of people anymore because it's a budget question, right? And visual effects, not in general, but very often, they're just not great. Like look at all the TV shows, because they don't have the money to put into visual effects anymore. Like people or production companies, they don't pay as much attention anymore because they have to produce so much. They're producing millions of episodes per TV show daily and weekly that they can't keep up with a high production value when it comes to visual effects or in general, but visual effects is a big factor. I'm watching Smallville right now, just as an example. Smallville, it's like this show about Superman's origin story, and the visual effects obviously they're mostly terrible. Mostly, sometimes it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, but mostly they're trash because it's TV. They have to make so much content, and they don't they don't put that much effort into those visual effects. Like anybody on YouTube who does VFX work, they put so much more work into their clips most of the time. Not everybody, but most of the time, they spend way more time on those VFX clips than they do on TV or even when they do on a blockbuster. On the other hand, though, obviously on those blockbuster movies, more people, like the quantity of people working on those clips is obviously bigger. More people are working on those things. So it should cancel each other out, but usually it doesn't. So the question is, what do you think of the big film VFX? It The problem is not the VFX. The problem is like the amount of content which is being produced and just shed out. And it's the good thing is VFX artists like you and me, they get more work. But on the other hand, we don't get the time anymore to work on those things to make things perfect. Like what I did here, like the VFX I did here to make this look decent, I spend way more time on this than most people would do on a budget because you have $50 to fix this, and what I just did here, it's not worth $50. It's worth, I don't know, $200 or whatever my hourly rate is. So people would not spend the time and money to fix a shot like this. In reality, if that was a TV show and we don't have any other coverage of this, then they just cut to the next scene or find another cheap solution around it so we don't have to go through all of this. What is this is my question. This piece is floating around. What is that? I need to find it. Where is it? Okay. Did I move this? Let's check the position. No, position looks normal. Okay. Well, I did find the issue. Okay. I guess I just don't need this layer for that long. Okay, that's better. But Eliu, what do you think about big movie visual effects? What made you ask the question? It's a little too blue in this lens flare, don't you think? It's a little too distinct. Let me see if I can change the color option. Problem is I would need to change the color on all these separately. That's better. If this is a blue, it's fine. I can also have, let me put hue and saturation effect on it, so I can just desaturate it a little. Yeah, that'll do. It's just a little less distinct. Now you can really see how my computer is slowing down. I can't even watch it fast anymore. But yeah. Today was a day I was working all day basically right here. I started my day with editing what is it? My YouTube tutorial for tomorrow, which is gonna be about UV projection, meaning how you can have a two-dimensional photo and project it on 3D geometry to make basically 3D scenes out of photos, which is a super cool effect to do that, because it's like it gives you like so much free detail in your scenes, and it is an easy way to make things look real, like your CG scenes in Blender, make them look real. So that's basically what my tutorial is about. So I was basically editing that all day, and I have 3 things on my to-do list today. I have the YouTube video, which is online and uploaded, just, you know, it's scheduled for tomorrow. My YouTube members, in case a YouTube member is watching right now, you can watch it already. Everybody else has to wait till tomorrow. Yeah, so my second thing on my to-do list today was like making this effect you're watching right now. That's pretty much done. So when I finish this live stream, I'm gonna export this, and I'm gonna export this and send it to my client. Yeah, that's gonna be the plan. And after that, I need to read the newest version of a script. My brother and I, we're working on a feature film right now, so I have to read the script. We're like 70 pages in, and yeah, so that's going to be very exciting. Can't wait to tell you guys more about that. It's 11:14 in Peru. In the morning or evening? That's the question. It's nighttime or morning in Peru. Yeah, so reading the script is going to be once I'm done with this. This is sent away, and then I'm going to read the script. It's already 9 p.m. here, so it's kind of late. So after I read the script, then it's time to go to bed. That's going to be a very successful day in a live of Phil Vlog. That's me, by the way, in case you didn't know. Yeah, but this live stream is just a little After Effects hangout, you know, just because I didn't want to be alone. Because making VFX like that, the retouching and stuff like that, it is just very tedious and boring. And it's always nice to hang out with the YouTube people, right? Yeah, this live stream was a little early. I think if I started this live stream now, or like in an hour, like 10 p.m. in West Coast time, that will probably be better. I'm gonna try that next time. But yeah, I'm gonna finish that up here. Thank you so much for joining in, and yeah, make sure to watch the video, which is coming out in 9 hours. And in case you haven't seen my last video yet, I put a lot of effort into it and didn't get that many views, so go check it out. The last video is about making a Coke commercial where a Coke can is flipping through the air and Coke is blasting out of it. All that made in Blender, so go check it out. It's a lot of fun to make those effects. So yeah, go check it out. It's very good. Not the Diet Coke. Check out the video. The Coke is good too, but check out the video. Anyways, next video is coming out in 9 hours. Again, it's about UV projection, how to project from your camera a 2D image onto geometry and make a scene out of it. It's going to be very cool. Yeah, I just finished it 2 hours ago. So make sure to check that out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Eliu, if I don't talk to you anymore, good luck with your music video production. And thank you so much for watching. And see you in the next stream. Let's do this thing I always do. That's how it usually works. And then I cut to black.